Hello, my dear students. I'm Syed here from CivilSoft. Today we would be going through the basics of STAT and we would be solving a simple problem in STAT. So to begin with, let us first understand the coordinate systems in STAT. So in STAT, your x is towards the right and z is towards you and y is upwards. So this is the coordinate system that STAT follows. So x is towards the right of the building, z is towards you and y would be upwards. So to start with, let us solve a simple beam which has a UDL on half of it and the remaining half there is a point load. Let's see how STAT will generate the bending moment diagram and shear force diagram for this particular beam. So we'll go to STAT now. I'll be opening a new model in STAT. I'll go to new project. I'll click on space. I'll give the name as B111 for example, and then the units I'll select it as meters and kilonewton. Once I have selected the units, I'll click on next, and add beam is selected by default. You don't have to make any changes to that, just click on finish. So when STAT opens, you'll get a grid system like this. Now as I told you, x is towards your right, y is upwards and z is towards you. But any building when we start working, we work on the foundation plane. We start from the foundation. So the foundation plane is basically x and z plane. So the plane what we need is x and z plane. So, but here the plane shown is x and y plane. So I have to change this plane to x and z plane. So what I'll do is I'll click on edit here and I'll change the plane to x and z plane. And this grid, if you want, you can give some angle to it, but we don't want any angle. It's perfectly horizontal, so we'll not make any changes here. No angle needed. Then the origin of this grid is 0, 0, 0. That is, this point is 0, 0, 0. And number of grid lines you can increase or decrease as per your requirements. The spacing between the grid lines also can be increased using this option. And if you want any angle, you can get the angle here. But we don't want any angle, so we keep it 0, and the spacing we'll keep it 1 meter as default. And as per our beam length, now the complete beam length what we need here is 6 meters plus 5 meters. So total 11 meters is what is needed. So I'll decrease this graph, grid as per our requirement. So I'll take 11 by 11 for the time being and click on OK. Now this option is visible to us when this is on here. So if you switch it off, it's gone. If you again click on that, it's on. And then I'll click on 0, 0 to 6 meters, 6 to 11. Press escape. So when you press escape, you cannot draw anymore. So if you want to get back into drawing mode, again click on this snap option, you'll be back into the drawing mode. So I'll switch this off now. Now I've just drawn a random beam of 6 meters and again 5 meters here. After that, I have two columns here. This is the first column, second column. In first column options, what we have is setup, geometry, general, analysis and design. So under the first column, the second column comes. For example, if I click on setup, see the second column changes. If I click on geometry, again the second column changes. If I click on general, again the the second column changes. Again analysis, if I click, again the second column changes. And then again design also. So basically the second column comes under first column. So all these commands are under first column. I'll go to setup first. In setup, we can give job details, which job I'm doing on, who's the client, what is the job number assigned to it, how many revisions we have done, or reference files, what are we following for, which part it is, and all that will be entered here. But practically nobody uses this much, so let's not worry about it. Next is geometry. In geometry, I can make the structure by giving coordinates here. For example, coordinate of this point is 0, comma 0, comma 0. See 0, comma 0, comma 0. Coordinate of next point is 6, comma 0, comma 0. And then again 11, comma 0, comma 0. Then I can give like that coordinates of all the points and make the structure. But it is not practically possible. So usually geometry we don't use, we don't make structure here. What we do is we go to file and import it from AutoCAD. So let's not worry about geometry either. So setup we are not using, geometry also we are not using. After geometry we have general. In general is where we work. Around 85 to 95% of our work is done in general. So under general the first option we get is property. So property is basically the sizes of beams and columns. So I'll go to general now, property. So this page will pop up. See here, it's written properties. If I click on specification, it will give me specification. If I click on supports, it will show supports here. So let's go back to property now. Under property sections, define rectangle. So 0.6, 0.2. I'm defining a beam of size 0.6 by 0.2. Let's cross verify that. Okay, 0.6 by 0.2. Remember in stat y is upwards. So this is the depth 0.6 and z is the width. Click on add. Close. Again define rectangle 0.45, 0.2. I hope that's the size needed there. Yeah. Click on add. I can go on adding how much other properties I want. Let's say for example I want 0.75. You can just click on add and it will come. I don't have to go back to define and do that one more time. Anyway, I'll close that. I'll select the first property, first beam. I'll give assign to selected beams. Assign, yes. Second property, second beam, assign to selected beams. I have different options here to assign, but the most commonly used option is assign to selected beams. Using this, you will not go wrong, so prefer this method. After properties, next we have specification. Specification is used in case of releases. For example, in case you have a simple supported beam, or let's say you have a truss, you need some moment release, or in case of bracings, you have to give pin joints. In that purpose, the specification option will be used. But normally, but in our case here, it's a simple beam. There are no secondary beams here, so we don't have to worry about this specification for the time being. Next, we'll go to supports. Under supports, we have to define what type of supports we have. So I'll click on create, fixed, add. Take this fixed support, take this, assign to selected nodes. Again create, pin, add. Take this pin joint, select both the points by holding control, assign to selected nodes. Click on yes. After that, after we have given the pin joint supports, the next thing is go to loading. Under loading, we have first definition. In case if you are applying some special loads such as snow load or wind load or seismic load, we will be using this definitions. If not, you don't have to worry about it. Here in this case, we are giving some basic loads whose values we already know. So there is no calculation there for that. So you don't have to worry about definition. So definition part, we'll get into it when we are applying wind loads or when you are applying earthquake loads. So for the time being, let's not worry about it. Next, go to load case details. Click on add. Click on primary. Select dead here and write the name as dead load. I am applying all dead loads now. Click on add, close. Now select dead load. Click on add. First select self fade. Now this structure will have its own fade. So that is what I am assigning now, self fade. So weight will act in y direction. Negative value indicates it is acting downwards. N1 is the multiplying factor. Like how you have factor of safety 1.5, 2, 3, like that it is. We'll keep it as 1. Click on add, close. Select self-weight, give assign to view because the entire structure will have self-weight. Then again select dead load, click on add, go to member load, see in stat columns and beams, they are known as members. In stat columns and beam, they are known as members. So load on them will be known as member load. So first we have 10 kilonewton. So I am going to write 10 here, minus 10. Then we have D1, D2 and D3. D1 is basically where the load is starting. D2 where the UDL is going to see. D1 is where the UDL will start from. D2 is where the UDL is going to end. And D3 is eccentricity, like if the load is not acting on the center line of the beam, if it is away from it, how much away it is, that is D3. Usually we don't use any of this. To keep it 0 all the time. So when you keep it 0, it will apply to the entire stretch of the beam. Click on and close. So I'll take this. This is one beam assigned to selected beams. I have given D1, D2, D3 0, so it has applied on the entire section. Second, again go to dead load now. Click on add. Again member load. Concentrated force, since I am applying a point force. So what was the value? 50 kilonewtons. Minus 50 at a distance 3 meters from the starting of the beam. Again D1 is the distance, D2 is eccentricity here. So D2 is 0 eccentricity. And close. Take this, select the beam, assign to selected beams. After that, loads we have completed. Next we'll go to material. So select concrete. Anyway, concrete is already assigned. One more time we'll give assign to view. So under general we have completed properties, specifications, supports, load and definition and material. Next we'll go to analysis. Under analysis, perform analysis selected, add, close. You have to give this command. If you don't give this command, it will not run analysis. Then go to analysis, click on run analysis, save. Click on done. So we have completed the model. So modeling and all will be done under the option modeling. To see the results, we'll go to post processing to get the results. So go to post processing, click on OK. Now I am under post processing. Now if I click on MZ, I'll get bending moment diagram. If I click on F5, I'll get shear force diagram. So to see values, you can go to results, view values, beam results. Let's say I want maximum bending moment and maximum shear force values. I'll click on annotate. Okay, close. So it is giving the maximum values now here. For this beam, this is maximum, next beam maximum. Same way, if you click on MZ, it will give maximum bending moment values. But reading these values will become a bit difficult. So what we'll do is, we'll go to post processing, click on beam, graph. So post processing, beam, graph. And then whichever beam we select for that particular beam, it will show bending moment diagram here and shear force for the particular selected one. Next beam, that's a bending moment diagram. This is a shear force diagram for this beam. See here, for example, this bending moment diagram is a parabola. So if you select here, you can see the variation is parabolic. So this value here is 35 minus 17.4, then 45.5. Next beam, if you select, 45.6 is here, then again 45.8 and then 0. And this is shear force value. So this is how we model a simple supported, a continuous beam in STAT, and this is how the results are seen. So this is the basic part of STAT. Thank you.